Hi, I'm Tom, and I've never seen the Titanic, but I have seen The Room at least 3 times.
And I'm Sean, and I think Forrest Gump is fine. There, I said it.
And this is Flix and Flops, the podcast where we watch movies, talk nonsense,
And pretend to know what we're doing.
grab your snacks, lower your expectations, and let's ruin some cinema together.
Because nothing says film analysis like two friends arguing over whether Nicolas Cage is a genius or just bored.
All right, and welcome back to another episode of Flix and Flops. And for the first time, we actually have a special guest star that we want to give a shout out to. It's our good buddy Cam, longtime listener, first time caller.
Hello.
Absolutely.
Been here since
Hey,
day
since
one.
day one.
He wants to
It's
say
tr-
one.
it's true. Every time we post a new one of these, he's always like the first one to like comment on it. I don't know. I don't know if this guy's got notifications on. I don't know if he's
I do.
stalking us.
I
think
click the
it's
bell.
maybe a
I click
combination
the
of
bell,
both.
people.
Oh, you heard the man. Click the bell if you're on YouTube.
YouTube brain. That's all I'm good for. But no, I'm happy to
Oh,
be
yeah.
here. I'm excited. My favorite, obviously, what really got me in the show was the dinosaur.
Jurassic World
World.
Dominion
I
or
love
whatever.
dinosaur
They're all the
critiques,
same.
Dinosaur opinions. Give it all to me. You could do all of them. I'll
You know what?
repost
I have
everyone.
a special fascination
No, I'm
with
happy to be here.
dinosaurs, and that movie still bored the shit out of me. So that should tell you everything that's wrong about that movie.
Yeah.
It's nothing to one. You can
I
watch.
mean-
I can watch one any point on TV, and I will sit there and watch it play again because that's all they'll play on FX.
I mean, to be fair with that one, like they spend half of the movie like either fucking around on the boat, fucking around in the museum, like they're just There wasn't a lot of. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Some of the other ones like have like lulls in the action too, but that one it was just like,
God,
I'm really
anything
supposed.
can happen. Anything can happen.
I'm really supposed to believe these like shitty human beings suddenly became altruists at the end, and we're like, dude, we're gonna cure AIDS, bro. Like,
Yeah, it
or
was
whatever the
dinosaur
fuck,
AIDS. That's what
cancer
they
or
were
whatever.
starting.
I don't. I
Yeah,
don't. Is that what the final? I stopped after 4. I wanted to see 5 in theaters, but I just watched Indoraptor clips.
It was like I think it
didn't
was
go.
heart disease. I think it was either like heart cancer or like it's like, dude, it's gonna piss me off. I'll
it was
figure this
definitely
out
like
while we.
I think it was
dig
heart
into
disease
today's
for sure.
show,
I just
but-
like to say it was dinosaur AIDS because that movie was so stupid that you could throw anything in there and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
matter
now,
what they're trying to
instead of
say.
talking about dinosaurs, because we could just spend this entire time talking about dinosaurs.
Back in the past. That's in the past. That's
It was
time in the past.
it was heart disease. It was
Sean
heart
always
disease.
has the facts, and I love that about him.
Big
Thank
problem in
you.
America. But that was the past.
The future
Now we go to the future.
of everyone's favorite movie, Electric State, produced by Netflix.
Well, like, it's interesting you say that this movie was kind of like the future in the past because. So what's interesting about this is like, yeah, we've had like the alternate like reality type shit, like we've had it in the 80s, the 50s, like whatever. Who the fuck thought, you know what? Let's do an alternate world in the 1990s
94,
where we have
91, 94.
super high tech robots and all this other shit, but the email clients are fucking like AOL version 2. Like, ugh.
The computers are also 1.1 note. The computers are accurate. They're all that like off-white, very smooth, shiny plastic, and all the keyboards are very clickety-clacky like in the 90s. I did appreciate that as a keyboard person. But yes, very weird. That's the
I just feel like
94.
one thing that was so strange to me about this whole movie is the idea is kind of cool. Like I know it's based on a book or a graphic novel, however you want to define it. I think the concept is interesting. Of like, oh, we created these robots and then we were using them for manual labor, and then the robots rebel, and then it creates this whole like subdivision, and eventually you need to figure out a way to like, knock that all down. I appreciate that, and I like the whole idea of the headset that everyone's wearing too, because we are in that timeline right now. Of everyone's like, well, time to put on my Meta VR headset and escape reality.
That's exactly what I said at first. I said, "Oh, this is like 2022 meta." Some of my notes say Mark
dude,
Zuckerberg.
you know what it reminded me of with that? Remember that fucking movie with like Bruce Willis where they're like in their houses and they pilot the Surrogates, I think
God.
it was called. Like they pilot like the robot versions of each other. I literally think they ripped that off, but
I
instead
said it
of
was
like having
Severance.
no, what is it called?
No,
You know what? I'm gonna stick to my guns. It was Surrogates. Okay, Tommy can
Yeah.
shit on me in the editing if I
I'll
got it wrong,
absolutely ruin
but
you in
I'm
the
very
edits if you're
passionate.
wrong about it.
no, not while I'm here. You can't do that this episode. No, all I was saying was it made me think. I haven't watched Severance, but it made me think of Severance because isn't the premise of that show that when you go somewhere, like you leave your home, your work body goes to work, but your like fun body like does whatever. That's what it reminded me of.
To an extent, but in this one, the idea is that there's two consciousnesses at once. So yeah,
Mhm.
honestly, it's kind of like a shitty fucking amalgamation of like how Severance works and how that Surrogates movie works. Like it's kind of like, okay, let's take the coolness of both these
Dude, neither of
ideas
them.
and make it shitty. But I mean, I will say one of the things I'll give the movie credit for is that is decent social commentary. Like, but at the same time, it's social
There's a
commentary that's
fair
been done
bit of
to
social
death too.
commentary. There's a fair
Yeah.
bit of social commentary in there. A lot of kind of obvious tell things. Tom, to your point
Okay.
about the exposition, my first note, and to start off, my first note was before the war, and I said original. I started my note as if I was CinemaSins, and then I realized by the 40th minute, I was not going to finish the movie before this. So the first half of my notes are very CinemaSins. What stood out to me? My first note was before the war, after the war, and I was like, that's some good
It's
exposition
so
right there.
bland and generic, and it really like it also did something that really pisses me off is movies when they're like, we heard of show don't tell, but instead we're just gonna do flashbacks. It's like I don't give a shit about your stupid ass flashbacks where they show it in news clippings where they're like, oh, the robots are rebelling. Oh my god. President Peanut has done this. And I'm like, I don't give a shit what President Peanut does.
Uh,
It's a corporate mascot. Why am I supposed to care?
all I would say 90% of the culture references that I just mentioned came in when we got to whatever that commune
The
was that
exclusion
President
zone. The exclusion
But
zone. Yeah.
was that considered? That area was just considered the exclusion zone because they were in it, but they got to that like mall area. They got to the mall that President Peanut had, and everything there was just a reference to something in the
I mean,
actual
the
world.
stupidest thing about all of this too is they had like a pretty decent cast for most of the part. They absolutely wasted Jason
Yeah.
Alexander. And I was watching it
I
with
was gonna
Shannon, and
say,
she goes, "Isn't that George from Seinfeld?" And I was like, "I did." Like, yeah, it is. Oh my god, this is gonna be so great. And he's barely in the goddamn movie. And then you have Giancarlo Esposito doing the stereotypical "I'm the bad guy" thing.
I was so excited. I was
He
so
plays a
excited to see
great
Gus. I
villain,
was
and
so
then in this,
excited.
What you were
wait, okay, wait,
excited?
well, you're telling me you're not
Well,
excited about Giancarlo
for
Esposito?
I
Giancarlo
do.
Esposito, because
So
I always want Gus. I don't care what he does. I know
so I
he's
gotta
the president in The Boys, and I like him there too. But Gus Fring,
so I got a hot take here. I love Giancarlo Esposito, but they typecast him and his like he
Oh,
phones it in. Like it's still good. Like he's a level of acting where him phoning it in is still like quality. Like I mean, I never thought for a minute like he was off the fucking rails like Chris Pratt, but believe me, we'll get into that. I mean, God, I can't believe we're talking about Chris Pratt for the second podcast in a row. Like,
I hate Chris
fuck
Pratt
you,
with a
Tommy.
passion. I don't care. Clip this, whatever. I do not like Chris Pratt. I think he's super overrated.
Yeah,
I have some
but
takes.
okay, what are your what? No,
No,
you know what? I'll
I'm just
defer to you. No,
sorry. I'm sorry. This is my first time podcasting. I
no,
interject.
no.
I speak on the
Believe
phone all
me,
day.
we're in the words of the Mad Hatter, we're all mad here. Okay, go ahead. What are your takes?
No. I mean, to the Gus thing, I think like his role was done in a chair. He probably just sat in that chair, and that's all he had to do for physically acting. So I agree that like his actions were kind of phoned in there. I didn't really feel a lot of it, and that's kind of what I felt for a lot of the story arc in these characters, like very flat. I don't think anyone really had any big exposition. Some characters did. Like I think Chris Pratt, they tried,
Oh.
but we can get into Chris
Now,
Pratt
another
if we
thing with
want to.
Giancarlo Esposito, before we go down the whole Chris Pratt, like Millie Bobby Brown rabbit hole, he had the worst line I think I might have ever heard in a movie in a long time. Is in that scene where the robots are all like storming up at the end. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna take back. We're gonna go from the exclusion zone. We're gonna be with the people." And he's like,
Oh
"I'm not
no.
gonna kill you, Mr. Peanut, because I discovered someone who is less human than machines." They're like something
Yeah, yep,
stupid like
yep.
that. And like
And then he
yeah,
goes to power down and be like,
he sits in the chair
life
just
now.
Yeah, no, he sits
and
down
just
like this.
powers off. It's like that like Windows 98 boot
Literally
sound where it's
can't.
like doo doo doo, and it's like he shuts down. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Honestly, I thought, because of all the references, I thought he was just gonna pull out like an e-cig and just take a drag and just be like, my job's done. I found the right
And you
found the right
know that this
decision tree.
movie is so bad when like I said twice while watching this movie. Once I was like, we got to be at least halfway through the movie. We were only 20 minutes in, so I was like, oh my
It's a
god.
long movie. It's an hour 45
It
without
had
breaks.
no
It should have
business
been like a
hour
being
30-minute
45.
movie. It had no business being as long as it was. Direct to TV
Direct-to-TV.
movie had no business being as long as it was. And then at one point I go, okay, we got to be at least like near the end. There was an hour left. And I was like, what are we doing? Like
I feel like I know what point you're talking about because
Are you talking
also
about like when? Are you talking about, not to cut you off, Cam, but are you talking about like when they find the doctor and they get to like
Short
that
Round?
place, like because kind of when they
okay, because I can't say that actor's name because
Yeah,
I'm going to totally
same
butcher it.
actor.
But he was Short Round in Indiana Jones.
I'll give it a try. I'll put myself out there.
I'm pretty sure. Well, he's Ki Hu Kwan, but also Jonathan K Kwan. So whatever, I probably just butchered that. I'll be crucified for sure. But I mean, around that part and like when they get to the exclusion zone. I mean, granted, it even kind of lags a bit, like when they initially find the smugglers too. Because I'm like, dude, why are we spending like 15 minutes just dicking around in like there's like a solid 10 minutes of
Chris Pratt's like initial hideaway.
That was so
it's like 10 minutes of 10 minutes of cringe dialogue. Like there were literally like probably three separate parts where I'm like, wow, like whoever the fuck edited this, actually I know the editor, Jeffrey Ford, you do not know pacing at all, bro, because my god, I was bored.
You need to read that one book. That
apparently, by the way, this is the guy apparently who takes credit for the and I am Iron Man, because he edited fucking Endgame. He's the one who takes credit.
Speaking of
for
Endgame,
that, so.
Joe and Anthony Russo directed this, and you can tell because there's so much of that freaking Marvel humor that I hate.
All right, let's get into it.
That's so like much of like the "did that just happen" kind of thing. Like when they're in the whole smuggler den and the singing bass is going off, they're like, "Haha, you're gonna think this is so funny, singing bass." I'm like, why? What is the point? And it's like, so much is wrong with it.
For one, like as soon as that cave has all the product placement of the old school items and all those different just references in general. One of my starred points in my notebook was the dialogue often the situation is always supposed to be serious and they throw jokes in there and levity, and I'm never brought in. Like when you find out that her brother, this car accident that we don't see, we just see the crash.
We don't even see. I mean, we
see a deer.
See the crash, to be honest. I'm like,
is it a deer? I don't remember how. I just know he got in a car crash. But and then discovering that car crash was planned because they knew he was the one. And I'm like, okay, but getting to the dialogue, they would be having those serious conversations about like their next steps and plan, or like Chris Pratt and what's the robot Hermie are like riffing in the cave for 5 minutes when they get back, talking about all their precious heirlooms. And it just didn't bring me in at any time. It was just too much like you just said, Tom, which is probably why I was like, this is really annoying.
mean-
the Marvel humor, like the
What, you didn't think that Chris Pratt saying salmonella
Oh.
5 times in a row was like comedy gold? You didn't. Me personally, I was laughing so hard I pissed and shat myself, Cam. So shame on you.
Credit to Cam on that. I had the exact same thought watching this as I was like, I said multiple times. I kept looking over at Shannon and I'm like, they can't let a moment be serious for 2 seconds, because anytime something gets
No.
slightly serious, it's like somebody walks by and does like a fart noise, and then they're like, "Whoa, can't believe that happened," or it'll be like,
the two criminals in this are Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt.
Millie Bobby Brown. I have it here. I never liked Millie Bobby Brown. I'll be totally honest. I think she's a
Me neither.
terrible
No,
actress.
I'll be
and
real with you
I don't
too.
get the obsession. Stranger Things, all she does is just this and then those bleeds. Like, it's not really anything impressive. In this, the relationship between her and the brother, horrendously painful, and like, it's the stereotypical like
Ugh.
brother sister kind of relationship in most movies, TV shows, where it's like, I'm the smart one and I'm the cool one, and then they're trying to do this whole thing where it's like, well, when you go up to college, don't forget me. But they also have this super weird moment, like when near the end of the movie, the whole point is the brother is like super intelligent, right? And then the evil corporation that's definitely not Amazon or definitely not whatever is like using him. Yeah, it's
I was
definitely
gonna
not
say
Apple.
Apple.
What like
I was no, it was Center
No,
was
what's
definitely
the-
giving Apple.
yeah, because it's like Tim
Stanley
Cook.
Tucci was
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
was giving Steve Jobs. He was giving fucking like evil Steve
So
Jobs.
they
for
have this whole
sure.
thing where they're using the brother to power all the robots, all the technology, because he's so smart. But they have a scene where Millie Bobby Brown goes into like the world
Right.
that he's in, the like virtual reality world, and then she like
Mhm.
snuggles up to him and has this like really weird moment where she's like in
No,
his
Wait,
yeah, she's like
Wait,
in his
John-
lap, like snuggling, looking back up at him, and I was like, I think we paused it, and I was
I thought that was just very. I'm thinking about that scene. I thought that was a flashback to something different, but was that the house?
Yeah,
Was that
was
when
she
she
pl-
puts the helmet
that
on?
was in the virtual world. That was
Yeah.
in their house because they did show one other scene in there of them watching whatever
Okay.
that stupid ass show, Cosmo, whatever the fuck.
Cosmo
and they
Boy,
do this
yeah.
stupid thing.
But like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
So here's
dude,
my
have a heart
conspiracy.
problem.
Here's my conspiracy theory, real quick.
That scene made me uncomfortable.
Anthony Russo and Joe Russo are siblings, okay? And Millie Bobby Brown's character and the brother are also siblings. And so they wrote Wincest into their movie.
I'm pretty sure we
That is
paused the
all.
movie.
That
and
is
I
a
looked over.
very.
I looked over at Shannon. I was like, "Would you ever like do this with your brother?" She was like, "No," and I was like, "I would never do this with my sister." It's not like a normal thing to do. Like,
Now,
I was walking around just my apartment, like doing things with my notebook, and I was watching that scene, and out loud, I was going,
it's like I wonder if they forgot.
"Oh," and then it's the lay down on the pillow, and then it's she
Yeah.
grabs like his arm, and I was like waiting for it to get more uncomfortable. It's she grabs his arm and brings it over her chest, and
what?
I wonder if they just totally forgot their brother and sister and thought that they were like dating halfway through
Yes.
the movie.
It made me forget that at first. I thought they were it made me forget that.
It
at
felt
first.
like that the whole way through. And also, I can't believe we haven't mentioned this as part. The fact that they set up this whole they set up the plot twist in like the first 5 minutes because he's like, oh, Einstein took this test and Einstein was so smart, but they stole his brain. He was so smart and they stole his brain
That's
and
why
changed the
they said
world.
I'm not even kidding you. That's why like Stanley Tucci being like his brain is the thing that powers
Yes,
all.
yeah,
the plots.
literally
It's
the
like,
most.
And I asked why does his brain do it, and you just put 2 and 2 together for me because I did hear that line. I'm like, oh yeah, you're smart,
Yep,
kid.
dude, this kid is the reincarnation of Einstein. Truly, his brain is so powerful that it can power the entire world's computing system. Which, like, fuck you, man. I'm not gonna believe that either. Like, you're telling me, okay, so this guy's some technological genius, right? And he was able to like build all the infrastructure, but the one thing he was missing was some 14-year Wonder Boy, young Sheldon ass rip-off kid's brain. Go fuck yourself.
It truly was just like the stupidest MacGuffin of all time. Like, it it doesn't make any sense into the whole movie that it's like the only way to we've come up with all this infrastructure. The only way to power it is a smart child. I'm like, but why? Like what?
You could have just kidnapped him, like raised him as your own, like
Well, he was in a
like
coma.
that one. But they took it, but they got his
And
body
all
eventually. He wakes up and like erase his memory. Just do like
do like a solid
the
snake to him, erase his memory.
Joker taking Tim Robin. Yeah, or Joker taking Tim
But now,
Robin and
like
making him like little
my
Joker.
another
Like, just
thing
do
that really bothered me about this movie is when the brother first comes in as the robot, right? And he's like the cosmonaut robot, and he
Mhm.
shows up to Millie Bobby Brown's house,
Mhm.
and she's like, "Oh my god, who are you?" And he's like pointing at the photo of the brother, and he can't talk; he can only use the catchphrases. And she's like, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you." Literally nothing is done to prove that it's him besides pointing at the photo, and literally nothing.
Nothing.
And then after knocking out Jason Alexander, they get in the car and she goes, "Okay, I believe you." I'm like, "What changed?" Like there's no
This leads
there was
me.
nothing to change. It was just like
There was no inciting incident where like the robot confirms without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, like they kind of make the robot like do things like
They
with the
make you
weird
infer
Alan
it.
Tudyk voice, like that he kind of indicates that it's him, like things that only he would know. But like at the same time, it's like I wasn't really sold on that. And well, I don't know. Every character in this movie has the intelligence of a
This
toothpick. So like,
this does lead this does lead to my biggest point overall, which is Millie Bobby Brown led the entire movie. Anytime there was the like a lull or just conversation, she's like, "Well,
oh
why can't we?" And then people are like, "Well, I mean, like we have these resources, like I guess we could." And she's like,
like
"Let's do it. It's
nobody
for my
ever
brother."
thought to change.
And it's just like, no, and it's just there. But to you, what you just said, Sean, there's no points where that decision has to be made. She's just
yeah,
doing it when reasonable adults are being like, "No, kid, we're not going into 100,000 mile square radius part of the Nevada desert. It's Area 51." And she's like, "Nope, we're gonna go. We're
Or
gonna go in there because we gotta find
the
the
power
doctor."
of friendship compels you.
It literally is the power of friendship. They have
Like and also like not for nothing, she's not even like a
no,
compelling
all she
leader.
does is just
Like
be an
what the
asshole. Like
fuck?
President Peanut is the best leader. Has the best leadership qualities in that movie.
Did you know? I found this out after. Did you know that Brian Cox voiced the
what?
baseball robot Pops or whatever? Pop
I
Fly,
did.
yeah.
They had a lot of like
Lot
big
of
high roll
randoms.
cameo voices.
You know what they should have
Oh
done?
yeah. Like Gronk was in that movie. Gronk was the
They
football
100%
robot.
should have had the old like baseball guy do that line that Brian Cox says in Succession of being like, "I love you, but you're all fucking idiots." Like they like
I love you, but you're
yes,
not serious
yes.
people. Literally,
Like
yeah.
this whole movie
literally.
just felt like it just couldn't take itself seriously at all, but it wanted you to take it seriously because they have these moments where they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, in the exclusion zone, they're the scavengers," which are only shown twice in the entire movie and are only a problem twice. Conveniently, once,
You'd think there's so much world building they can do. They're about to like lay
yeah,
on us of the different
Oh,
Titan bots.
you know they wanted to make this a whole ass thing.
they're like,
You
"Oh, the
know they
scavengers."
wanted
They
to
show them
like
one time of just ripping other robots apart, and it's like, what happens if they catch humans? It's like, I don't know, it's never happened. And then they show them later.
I've never been
Yeah.
around long enough for it to
And
happen.
then they
It's
show
like,
them later at
okay,
Short Round's little hideout, and then they just get rid of them. There's no like, there's never a problem. They start like attacking, and then Short Round turns on some lights, and the scavengers are like, "We're gone," and they leave. That's it.
it's lights, fire, and one of their many like songs that they probably paid millions and millions of dollars for
They're
rights
like
to use in that movie. The songs throughout that were all just trying to reach out to the audience. They played "Don't Stop Believin'." They played
oh
Wonderwall.
my
The
god.
piano bot, the taco bot was playing Wonderwall. I will say this because we're talking about it. It did get me at the end when the outro song is "Battle of Pink Robots." That or Big Robots.
oh
That got me
my
at the end. I was like, you know what? You know what?
Also,
You got
speaking
me.
of endings,
I'm in.
absolutely fuck
Part
that
2,
stupid
Boogaloo.
ending where they're trying to be like, "Oh, the robot gets dumped away and the brother died. What a great sacrifice." And then the robot just gets up and you're like, "So what was the sacrifice then? For nothing."
Well,
Yeah. His
Yeah,
consciousness is
that's
still
the
in
thing.
there,
It's
Tom.
a empty sacrifice.
that's what convinced me. That's what convinced me that they wanted to make this a whole thing, because now they're going into like a role of like, okay, so now we've shown you how these robots became like sentient type shit and exploring, but now we're going to show you a whole new thing where consciousness can evolve and become some crazy shit. It's like, fuck off. Also, take a guess what the budget of this movie was. I want to hear guesses from both of you.
All right, I'm not on the. I do have the
Oh, hold on.
Rotten Tomatoes screen pulled up, but
I'm
I
gonna
do
take
not
a
know what
guess.
this number is.
I'll take a blind guess.
Okay.
$300 million.
My
Cam?
guess was gonna be so much lower. I was gonna say like, oh, there's so much AI. All right, I'll go 200 million.
320 million.
Oh,
Tom,
closest
you're
what I'm
close.
going over. Price
And
is
I
right.
bet a cool 5 of that was like the music.
Well,
like
consider that.
the music,
It's gotta
right?
be. Just to hear the renditions of
Consider
Journey
the
and
marketing
Oasis.
budget too of this movie, so you probably have to double that, because typically the rule of thumb is double whatever the budget is for marketing then too.
Yeah,
That is a good point. It must be
they
high
didn't
budget.
yeah, but they didn't put. The thing is, too, is like this was like a Netflix like. Well, I mean, it was supposed to be in movies. I mean, apparently, it's one of the most expensive movies ever made. Which
No,
you
there's
would
so
not
many
think that
scenes in
at
this
all.
movie when I'm watching it that I'm like, how is this worth like $300 million? Like, I don't know where the money went besides the big names and the stars, because some scenes, yeah, some look good, but there are some scenes where they're like, what is it, Merv, the big construction robot, when he's in his like big mech and he's carrying them
Yeah.
in the van. That green screen when the people are in the van is horrendous. You can see it's not
Oh
chroma
my
keyed, right? So you see them going like this,
Yeah.
and it's like there's like a fuzz around them, and it doesn't look good. And it's very clear that they're probably like, yeah, whatever, no one's gonna look. And they're like,
Well, if we want to get
Which is
conspiratorial
bullshit,
about
because this
these
movie
big
was
budgets.
this movie was like made in like over a span of like, I think the rights were like 8 years or 6 years or some shit, which is like ridiculous. You know what this movie really reminded me of? It reminded me a lot of John
oh my
Carter,
god.
where it's kind of like you can kind of see the vision, but you're also just like, dude, how the fuck did you have this much money and fuck this up this bad? Like, come
Yeah.
on.
John Carter is, yeah, that's a good relation. I was trying to think of like 2010s like animated classics that were meant to be 90 minutes and are like originally written that way, because this is what this movie could have been. We didn't need all this
Oh
traveling.
my
We
god.
need a lot of like the conjecture. Yeah,
This reminded me of Ready Player One. Like in a bizarre way of like
Oof.
the bad animations, and also trying to be like, you know what that is. You've seen that before.
They make you infer everything in this movie. Everything is inferred or implied of like your understanding of a situation.
Well, it's the death
going
of media
on.
literacy. That's why no one can think critically anymore. So instead, it's like, well, we don't. Why make you think when we can just tell you what it is?
This feels like the modern no smoking for kids ads, like Dare ads. This feels like modern ads for that, but it's for internet awareness and not letting your child live in their Apple their Apple Play.
One thing I noticed about this
headset.
movie, it's a total nerd thing that I'm going to go on about this for a quick second. But when the robots are having that big fight at the center headquarters, I noticed the robots are using trebuchets when they're launching cars. The robots are the superior siege weapon. So credit to the robots then, because everyone else would have put catapults in. Everyone put catapults in, but catapults are highly inefficient compared to trebuchets. The more you know. But they also added in this stupid ass scene with, you have Chris Pratt and the robot when he thinks his robot buddy died. There is no reason for this scene to be in the movie. All of a sudden, he just goes, he's like, Merv, come on, Merv, you're so great, you're the best, I love you, man, more than a friend. Oh,
more than a friend. Like,
yeah, that was also on the level of like sister leaning into brother. Like, dude, this is the guy that saved you from the war.
So Chris Pratt,
the robot
and
saved you from the war.
And there's a Futurama episode. There's nothing wrong with it, but just like we didn't get that now. We didn't know that that's how you felt. That also leads back to my point of this was a flat movie. No one had real character development because he said that, didn't even just say I love you. He just said I
Because they
like
were
you more as a
afraid to take a
friend.
stance.
And then he's like, and then in classic like, got him, we tricked you. He's like, little 8-inch version of whatever his name is, comes out, and he's like, you're alive. And he's like, yeah, I said I was going to power save mode. Weren't you listening? It's like,
It's that same issue throughout the entire movie.
so
They
what?
can't let a moment breathe. They can't let it be serious. And like the
No.
thing that really, speaking of Futurama, this movie reminds me of that classic scene in Futurama with the devil where he's like, "You can't just say how your characters feel. That makes me feel angry." Like this feels like so much of that where they're like the characters are like, "Why am I'm upset. I'm this." But like everyone, there's not a single character in this movie that I'm like, I could root for that person. Every single like human character is the most flat milk toast thing ever. And I'm like, I just really don't care what happens to any of you. And it kind of makes me want to root for the bad guy because then it's just funny to see everyone fail. Like there and
True.
everything, like a lot of the music choices in this movie, even just like the background music, was so bizarre and didn't match up with the scene like at all. Like there's that montage of Millie Bobby Brown and the robot running away trying to like get to the exclusion zone, right?
I'm trying to
It
remember
was like
what
some
song that
generic
was because all
like
these
do
transition
do do
songs.
do like kind of thing.
Oh no, that was that wait, no, that was an Oasis song too. That might have also been
And it was
Wonderwall, but
just
not on
so
the
like
piano.
why it didn't fit the mood at all. And it's just like it's
No.
so
No.
weird. And it's just like nothing in this movie works as it should. Everything just feels wrong. Nothing feels natural. Everything feels forced.
If they were able to like manage the tension and manage the scenes of stress, like the cave shootout, like
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to the final attack and Sentry at some point, but like if they just kept some tension in that, or even with Gus's character in the scenes that way, I would say this would be a really good lesson movie for kids on touching grass and not like putting on your headset to go experience life, because that's kind of what the end of the movie is. And
Yeah.
this feel as well. I'm gonna have a lot of these feels. I'm trying to think of another movie that's like this, but this feels like one of those kids movies that it airs the first one and it got enough traction that they landed like 2 years for a TV show, like the
Mhm.
Sheen Jimmy
Oh,
Neutron show
Oh
that
God,
lasts like
Planet
3 years
Sheen, nice.
because
Planet
there was so much
Sheen.
goodwill off Jimmy Neutron that we got a Sheen show. This feels like a movie that would produce like, now the humans and robots are rebuilding I forget what it is, X lands, but they're still running a problem like human
I
racists. And just like stuff like I feel like that's where it could go if Netflix is going to make a show out of it, and they'll get
You
like
know, it's
one or
funny
two
you mentioned
seasons.
that cave shootout scene because we basically have the same scene in the movie twice, almost back to back. Because there's the first time we meet Chris Pratt, he's coming out of the back of the truck, whatever the van, whatever the hell it is, and there's the whole thing of being like, "Well, that would be such a shock," and letting his buddy shock another person. They do that not even 10 minutes later in the movie again.
I know,
Yeah, and I'm like,
to
uh,
Gus,
I'm
to,
thinking
to
about it where it's like,
Giancarlo's
what
character.
was the point? Did they forget that they already wrote this scene? Like, I get callbacks, I understand the concept, but callbacks are usually separated more length and time in a movie and not just like immediately in the
Yeah.
next scene you do it again. Like, and the product placement was all over the place in this movie too. Like, Cam and I talked the other day when Dr. Pepper, they have
Dr.
this,
Pepper. The first one is the very clear color
yeah,
corrected Dr. Pepper can to match
they're
that like
doing that
sweet
whole
red
thing of
it
being
has.
like,
And I was
oh,
like, oh,
yeah,
I
so
did
when they're
not
doing the whole
notice
thing of
that.
being like, "Oh, we need to find whoever where you're hidden," and the brother in the robot takes a
yep.
can of Dr. Pepper and he holds it up and points to it, and then Millie Bobby Brown goes, "Dr. Pepper," like as if we can't read.
Us playing code
I
names.
do
Us
remember
us
Yeah,
that.
playing code names. Us playing code names is what the equivalent to that is. And Millie Bobby Brown
and
is
then
good at
all of a
code names
sudden he's just
apparently.
like, "Yes," like, and she goes, "Doctor," and then he goes like this, and she goes, "Doctor Glasses." I'm like, I had this whole moment. I'm like, there's no fucking way his name is actually Dr. Glasses. If his name is Dr. Glasses, I'm turning this movie off right goddamn now.
So it took me a while to realize that when he was saying doctor with glasses, that it wasn't just Stanley Tucci's like character like Sentry, because I thought like he was gonna refer. What I originally thought was like he got kidnapped by like Sentry. The doctor with glasses is Stanley Tucci. So I thought like the crux was gonna be him leading her back, and it's like it was me the whole time. I
That
saved your brother, and that would have been the ultimate like crux of what happens.
that would have been
But
so much
no,
better than having to ruin Short Round's character.
there's just a guy that gets blatted 5 minutes after saving the crew from
Which one of the
scavengers,
funniest scenes of that
and
movie.
then his computer is
Yeah, it's like
him getting
so
blatted.
stupid because he comes in, he's like, "If you want her, you're gonna have to go through me," and then he just gets blown the hell up. It's like, yeah, it's like
Absolutely
I don't know
wrecked,
if they
yeah.
intended for it to be funny, but it was so
Oh,
comical to me because it was just they tried to be like, what
What?
a brave hero sacrifice, and he just gets fucking thrown way back and dies. I'm like,
and then John Carlos' character doesn't even go after him. He just stops. He's like, maybe I shouldn't have killed this human. Why did I do this?
I mean, the
And
turn
it's just
heel in this movie of like
yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito going from bad guy to good guy is so
Good guy's a
yeah,
stretch.
like
I'd say pseudo.
Yeah,
He goes
no,
to
no.
he goes to maybe I'm not as racist as I should.
He
have
has a
been,
thought for a
or
second.
I
He's
was.
like, racism is bad. Do 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 do.
Clankers. Listen, we're gonna get into Clanker talking
Oh,
a bit before this is done.
this
I've got
movie
some
will
notes.
never make me feel sympathy for clankers. That is, I refuse.
No.
Immediately when like the brother bumps into the guy in, like the military garb, and the military garb just like I guess maybe assumes that the guy is robot friendly because he's a nerd, and maybe like the campus has known about him because they've never met before. He left it was like he was leaving the college with his sister, and the professor was making fun of him even though he's finished it, and then he just bumps into the military guy, and the guy's like, watch it, bro. And he may have even said watch it like bot or something
Oh,
like that.
Well,
and
he
maybe
notices
he's so smart.
the shirt. He notices the shirt, and he's like,
Oh, he
"Oh,
was
what
wearing
are you a
Cosmo.
bot? What are you, a bot lover?" Or
That's
whatever?
right. He was wearing
It's like,
he was wearing the
bro.
Cosmo Boy shirt. But I saw it and immediately I was like, oh, this is Clanker.
I
reference.
love that they
Okay.
use the term.
Well, and of
I love
course,
they use
I-
the
I
term
went through
bot
this.
as some sort of like
What?
some slur.
They used another one. They used another one. They didn't use Clanker, but I would have cried.
There
if
was
they
like,
used
what are
Clanker.
you,
That would have
a
been so funny.
bot lover?
that would have redeemed the movie for us, truly.
I think that would have got trending on social media if they put the word Clanker in the movie.
I'm just like,
Well, you heard it here. You heard it here first, Russos. You could have saved your movie. You blew it.
Get in with
yeah,
what Gen Z isn't on. I have some words I could say at the end to get us trending if we want.
Yeah, if they
but
really wanted
I'll
to get
save
it
those for
trending,
the
they
end.
should have had them all just do 6-7 throughout the entire movie. Yeah, oh man.
What are we gonna
like,
do?
It-
That's all the trailers are. That's all Millie Bobby
I
Brown's
think
doing.
this
What
was
are
a
we gonna
huge start
do?
because this movie came out only like last year. Keep that in mind. I think this was one of the pioneers of Netflix's strategy of when they're making movies and shows.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure you guys have heard all about this. I talk about this constantly to anybody that'll listen. People probably hate it, but Netflix has a strategy of no one's actually watching. Everyone is just, everyone's on their phone, right? Everyone's just like they're like,
I've
oh
heard
yeah,
this.
they're not really looking, they're not paying attention. So what you need to do is you need to repeat things over and over and over again, and you need to constantly say what you're doing and why you're doing it, because then people are going to be listening and not watching. And I think that this movie is a huge example of that because there's so many things where people will be like when Merv gets like shot at the end, he's like, Merv, why did you run up and protect me from getting shot, Merv? I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
Why?
what? So like every time anyone does anything, they're like, what should we do? I think I should walk through this door to go to this room and do this. I am putting this headset on. Like it's never like a thing where they just like,
There's no emotion to the
yeah,
action.
there's nothing. It's just so bland. And it's like, I'm shocked that the Russos just let this slide of being like, we don't really need to do anything.
It's like the opposite of a good movie where they're they're saying that we should already understand the emotions that are there, but they have to physically describe to us walking across the room or like going into the forbidden zone. But they're inside jokes or things that have happened in the past. They're supposed to like world build. We're just supposed to get that. But we need to understand like how special Herb what we have not got this bot's name right. I say Herb, you guys are saying
Doesn't
Herb.
matter because he
Like
sucks.
I don't know what
Who
his name
cares?
is. The multiple model bot, but like he I lost my train of thought, but basically it just doesn't work.
Oh,
Herman.
what a
Hermy.
stupid name.
All right,
Well,
Herb.
you
All
know
right.
what?
We're all kind of close then. We're all been saying
Yeah,
Herb.
we were on the
But you
right
know what?
track.
This movie
I think,
also
right?
explained that Mr.
Hermy.
Peanut's hat is actually like a part of his brain. That's a crazy statement.
Yeah. That was
Whoa.
kind of brutal, to be honest. Like watching that happen, I was like,
But wait,
is his head gonna get ripped off? And I was like, oh, he's still alive with,
another
without the
another
helmet. But
like plot
that
hole
was
in this
pretty.
movie. At one point, he's like, "Well, I gotta go back and get my hat." So he went back to the scavenger-filled area, went all the way, climbed down that slide, grabbed his hat, and then reattached it upon himself.
Is that where he was getting beat? Oh yeah,
So
that's where they
that's
got
where
beat
his
up.
hat
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
and it was just left there.
No, Tom, one of the buses went that way. One of their fleet that just managed to like travel the 1,200 miles even after being tracked by the Gusbot. Managed to travel 1,200 miles to
Gusbot-
Seattle. Fuck you, Seattle.
All my homies hate Seattle.
To Century headquarters. All my homies do hate Seattle. To Century headquarters. They just got on this bus fleet, and then again, this is where I like kind of went off the rails. If you're the headquarters of VR headsets everywhere, you are in every industry's pockets. You don't have a fence. You don't have like guards. You don't have like you have like you have your parking lot and then your swipe IDs for the door. That's all they had. The scene where they're in the building and we come out of the office, the lady's walking and you see the car start to come in because Herbie 4X loaded is throwing it at there. Like he's picking up, he makes a joke. He's like, "This is a nice Porsche." Like they're in the parking lot. Where's the defense?
Where's the security? Where are the like? Why do they in like the bots that do ever shitty? And then it's like, oh, let me get my experimental like thing. Like, are you telling me there's like no crime in this universe? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, they kind of show crime and they kind of show violence, but like, I don't know. They try to make Center look like some like giant entity that's like almost like militarized and like controls the world, but like
I
it
wrote
never really feels like
meta
that.
Palantir in my notes where it's like a lot of and this ties back into like the like subtleties they want you to get, where it's like VR bad, touch grass, like don't be as centralized as Center is, ironically enough for their name. Like it's all those things that they're just implying being like anti-meta, anti like Palantir, and I'm not pro that. Not financial advice, but like that's what they're trying to basically tell you is like touch grass, avoid these technologies, these superpowers that are going to take over your life. And honestly, I also don't think Stanley Tucci's character is flat. If he could go inverted, then I would say that, but he gives me nothing the entire series. He's like, he's like, my guards and their sentry suits are getting beat up by these giant robots. I'm going to put on my 3x bigger suit and handle it because I
also
always
one
win.
thing I've always wondered about: why is there a company
What?
that's named after the evil device that Sauron uses in Lord of the Rings to like spy on all of Middle Earth? Can we just like
what is it?
Palantir? That company, the Palantir is used in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
you mean in real life? I
Palantir
think you meant
is-
I think you
No,
meant
in
Century.
real life, we have a actual company that's named after what Sauron uses in Lord of the Rings to spy on people in Middle Earth.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen fucking Alex Karp and fucking Peter Thiel? They're literally like fucking like demons,
that
bro.
makes sense to me.
They look like the type of people that would name a fucking company after that shit. Plus, the crazy part is that it was fucking founded. It was founded in 2003, which is literally right around when the fucking last movie came out.
They knew what they were doing.
So like, they knew what they were fucking doing, man.
I cannot get over how just like
Literally, they named the startup after the Seeing Stone and Tolkien's Legendarium, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck.
It's called Palantir.
Palantir.
The stone's called
Yeah.
Palantir.
And
That's why. That's why when you say it like
this
that.
actually gets worse. This is a very weird sidebar. They have office locations that are named from Tolkien. Their Palo Alto location is the
Oh, no.
Shire. Their Virginia one is called Rivendell, and their DC one is
Minas Tirith.
or whatever.
Minas.
Yeah, that's
Minas
the last
Tirith?
kingdom of man.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I want to shit. I kind of want to go to work.
Yeah,
in Minas
well,
Tirith. I kind of want that.
If
I
I
want that
if
to
I
be
had to
my
pick an
office
office
name.
name, I
I
would
think I
name
would
my
go
office
anymore.
Rohan, and I could be like, the Riders of Rohan. Just like it would be so great. I'd show up every day stoked. But like, we have these companies like this that have like the evil names, and then you also go into the movie, and you have the most boring, bland, evil character who's just like, I want this kid to stay right there because he's making me money. And I'm like, this is like, seriously, can we not have anything? Can anyone be more like, can any character have any depth at all? They're all so bland.
No. And ounce is a stretch. His schmeck of fucking shit is like, oh, my mom was an alcoholic and hated me, and I'm
Okay.
making her into a robot.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I'm
scene was
glad you
weird.
s-
That was weird.
I'm glad
I
you
will
said
point
that
out
because I
that was
wrote
weird.
down here that comically evil bad guy comes up with virtual reality plans because he has mommy issues. Like the whole movie boils down to the
Yep.
fact that his mom, he's like, well, my mom was an alcoholic and she
mean-
used to beat me when she was drinking. She was meaner when she wasn't. So I made a virtual reality where she's nice to me. It's like,
And she
Yeah,
cooks me a
she-
giant meal.
she cooks
That's
me the
a
spaghetti.
The stuffed tomatoes.
And it's like, what are we doing?
I would have been fine leading into like Clanker talk right now, the Clanker talk segment. Like I think he could have redeemed his villain arc, not because in the beginning of the movie, it's based on the fact that this is the war, and he, as like the technocrat, I think I said to you, Tom, like the technocratic president of the United States, like government doesn't really matter. Because I had this thought as well. It's like all these robots just left the exclusion zone, and there's no other like action from anywhere in the U.S. that's like going to stop them. Like they just had a war. So I was like, okay, I'm going to assume that Center is like the technocratic president of the United States. Everything goes through him. At least like if they had a confrontation of some kind, why couldn't he have just been racist? Why couldn't he have just been like no, like
What?
I saw what happened in the bot war, like I did it, because that's the point. That's the point. He made the headset.
Cam, I'm worried for you because someone could find this podcast and take this out of context.
I can't
no,
wait to
this is
clip
gotta-
this and Cam going, why couldn't
It's
he be
fine, it's fine.
racist?
Listen. Only if if AIs watch this from Claude or that crab website, then we have a problem. But other people won't understand what I'm saying. But my point being that like when he's because he doesn't even meet Millie Bobby Brown. He doesn't even see her. Like they don't cross paths. She gets him out or like kills him, I guess. I thought that they were gonna show her ripping off the cords, but anyway, they don't even cross paths. Like he's going to be like, I have to do this myself because I always win. So like
Oh, that's
obviously I can
true.
do it. But like at least when he's out there, he could have been like, no, I remember what happened in the bot war. Some people forget, but I remember. And that's why I built Center. So this would never happen again. Because that's why he took the kid and made the sentry bots, because the humans were about to lose. And he at least could have like died with his main idea of his company being like, I need this because I remember what happened and I'm not letting it happen again. And then he'll die. I don't even know how he died in the first place.
He
or
basically
how he
just
ended.
gets into
But-
a weird standoff with Mr. Peanut where Mr. Peanut, he's like, oh, are you here to renegotiate the treaty? And Mr. Peanut's like, no, I'm here to demand freedom. Like, yeah,
is that how it ended? I really don't remember.
That. I was like,
But
what?
I'm just saying, again, my whole take on this movie has been like, no one has really developed, no one has a story that I can really go with. And I'm not saying that I would go with this story, but he could have just been like racist towards bots. That could have been his like true moral philosophy. He just hates bots. And like that's why you can't touch the kid, because he's not letting it happen again.
He's
and
just
then
nothing.
and then he dies. That would have been That would have felt like an
I
arc.
think the problem is they don't think of character arcs. They think of character straight lines. Character starts the movie the same way and ends the movie the same way.
I'll say one thing. I
You
can't
know
wait
who
to
had an
watch it
arc?
back.
Noah.
Oh, fuck.
God damn it.
I had a Sopranos line that I was gonna come in when I came in here. I was gonna start off by saying, "Let me tell you a couple of 3 things," and I forgot.
I mean,
But-
listen, I was expecting the Billy Bass to tell me that he was working for the government in the middle of
I'm working
the
for the government. Tone.
hideaway
Oh,
The
that's
scene.
good.
talking bastard turns
good.
over. Hey, Tone, you know I'm working for the government.
And then Chris Pratt zooms out like that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where Kurt Russell reveals he murdered his mom, and he's like, "What?"
Oh, and one other thing I just gotta harp on this. What the fuck was up with Chris Pratt's
Okay.
stupid ass hair, the wig and the mustache? What the fuck was that?
It looked like one of the
Yeah.
Han Solo like knockoffs that you'd see in like Spaceballs, or I mean Spaceballs is even close, but like pardon my French, in adult television, it's like one of the knockoffs
It's like
you see there.
remember in Spaceballs when they capture their stunt doubles? And they're like, you idiots, you've captured their stunt doubles. It looked like that. I was like, what is this? Like, it's so obviously a bad wig.
Oh, and then
like, it was incredibly distracting.
And then even this is where like a lot of my bullet points are. They're just like the one-liners that like I just wrote down because I think I remember the scene. But when he's like giving his grievances to Herb, whatever, and he's like, I even shaved my mustache, or like I shaved my mustache. It's like, did you? Like I'm looking.
It's like,
yeah,
I can see it.
I finally let that clanker chop my hair off. Yeah.
He's like, I sat down with some clankers. Turns out they're not all bad. And it's like,
They even gave me a clank job on the house.
What if Netflix pivots and they sell this to Hulu Adult Swim, and then we get an Adult Swim show out of this, where it's just all the robots living in X or living in the land.
You know what?
But
That
it's all
would
the
be
same
more entertaining to
brands.
watch than this movie, because this movie was just like directionless.
A lot of things would be better. I contemplated watching Paint Dry.
Yeah,
in the middle of it,
I'm
I'll
like
be real.
sitting through this, and I'm like,
I was walking
we were sitting
around
through this movie, and I was like, it's bad when even Shannon, who can usually sit through movies, she was like, what is this? Like, even she was saying things. I was like, that's when you know a movie's bad, because she will tolerate most movies, and she's good about it. She's a good sport. This was just like, even she was like, what is this? Like, if you can't keep people like that, like people like this entertained, what is the point? Who is the target audience for this movie?
Again, I think it's Netflix's take of trying to tell kids like, hey, you can't sit inside and look at these screens on your Apple Vision Pro or your iPhone like 2 inches away. It's like, hey, you also watch our show Black Mirror, like.
But at the same time, Netflix is like, but please stay watching more of our things. So it's like,
yeah. But hey, are you still watching?
Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It feels like this movie just didn't know. Like, I looked up a little bit of the book too, because readings for nerds. Who the fuck reads anymore? So I looked up the book, and it says that at the end, it's supposed to be like ambiguous on if the brother lives or not. The Russos are like, yeah, fuck ambiguity. Yeah, he's fine. He's the robot again. Who gives a shit?
Well, they were doing this scene where it's like you find his body, they somehow like his body turns up on an open junk pile, and they do the zoom in, and I was waiting for the like twitch or the eye light to come on, and then when it cut to the dog, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna stand over the dog,
Cosmo
like,
will
scare the
return.
dog.
Okay, I thought the same thing, because I'm like, it's the exact same kind of idea of like, as soon as you see all this destroyed rubble, but then the robot is in perfect condition, you're like, I know how this is gonna go. And then that stupid like ending scene too, where Millie Bobby Brown films herself being like, I'm a bot enthusiast. We should all welcome bots back in the world. I was like,
again,
I'm like, what
episode,
is the point?
Robosexuals. We're all robosexuals.
Chris Pratt's a robosexual for sure.
Closeted, maybe. He took that stuff back.
Oh yeah, when he realized, he's like, wait,
alive.
no, hold on. I need to keep a certain fan base watching my movies. No, I'm not like that.
No, I don't feign my sidekicks. But no, I mean honestly, I want to say this. I think the character with the most arc was Mr. Peanut. President Peanut. I think he changed the most in terms of like bringing the humans in. Granted, it was in the same breath that he was like, "Well, I guess I can get my hat again, and we can go
Mr.
fight the company,
President
fight the
Peanut does a full
corporation."
180 in this movie. He's like, "Get out of here."
That's actually
But he also did. He was holding. I mean, he was holding his own against Ops. He was with the sword.
Yeah, wait, why
all
did he have
old
a,
school shit,
a
like,
sword in the cane?
the-
Why did he have a
he-
cane sword?
because that's what old men do. That's what old
what
cool men
do.
have.
They're badass, dude.
They can't have
Dude, like,
guns.
the fact that that's basically the thesis statement of this movie, I don't know what more you can get than that. The character with the the character with the most deep
the
arc, the
sword.
most character development was fucking Mr.
I think
Peanut.
I need more movies to tell me what corporate
Awesome.
mascots to root for. I think that's the bottom line of this movie.
Yeah, dude, bring me into that Family Guy episode where Chester Cheeto's doing
Yeah.
fucking coke, bro. Like, I want to see him. I want to see his fucking his rise back to glory after falling on bottom, dude. Like,
His path through recovery.
yeah, bro. Like the Toucan Sam, like getting like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm mixing two different things together.
Can't
but
wait for the
anyways.
Connect 4 movie. It's gonna go fucking bananas.
Yeah, you guys want to go watch Battleship? I think that'd be a fun
Oh,
one.
I forgot about that. With Rihanna?
You want to watch? You want to watch Rhea with Rihanna?
I forgot about that
with
movie.
Rihanna. Yeah, but I mean, I'd say moral of the story: this is pretty fucking bad.
I mean, there you have it.
And fuck robots.
I just think it's. I like we said, who is it for? Like, it's certainly. I mean, it's maybe for like brain rotted adults, but even that who like A-list celebrities right now, and like the Leo meme of like, there he is. Like, maybe they like doing that, and there's definitely a lot of that. Of like, that's that voice actor, that's Jason Alexander, and then like I've been saying, like this could be, you could zone this into like a kid show that's meant to be to like teach about racism and like misidentifying people, but because they're robots in the modern age. Like, I'm gonna hold, this is intellectual property right now, Netflix. I get a cut of that if you end up doing that. But yeah, like I don't know who this is for. I think Tom, like I said, if we want to get into conspiracies, we can. I'll send you some links about tax write-offs for
I'm deep in
movies
those
and all that
rabbit
that
holes, Cam.
the big studios
I
do.
am far deep in the rabbit hole of companies using movies as write-offs, like the whole Acme versus Wile E. Coyote thing. I think this was a major tax write-off.
Hey, that's coming out. That's coming out, man.
I have a
Okay?
question though.
If you want to use a good example, use the fact that there's never going to be a fucking
Oh,
Batwoman
that's a crazy
movie,
one.
dude. They fucking that shit was fully finished, dude. You know how bad I want to see fucking Brendan Fraser as Firefly, dude. Like, ugh.
My question would be though, because of the A-list celebrities and all that, and like the animation, like usually animated movies, they can sell the trailer really well because those scenes are kind of designed to like show action, like better than live movies. I feel like you don't get as many spoilers from like animated movie trailers as sometimes you get from the live. How much do you think in the opening weekend this movie would gross?
If it was
I think it would do
animated?
pretty decent, simply because of no. I'm saying like animated movies, like
Yeah.
for the trailer, most of it was animated. But I'm saying if this was released in theaters with the cast list, how well do you think the box office would do? I think it would actually do. I think it would do
I think
pretty.
it would do
Opening
pretty well.
weekends, let's say.
Yeah, because
I
then
think it
people
would
would
do
just look at the
pretty well.
cast and be like, "Oh, I know them," and they would show up for just that. Like,
I think parents would take their kids to it. I think it would definitely be like a big friendly robot type movie.
oh,
like
man,
Iron
don't make me
Giant movie
cry.
type.
Iron Giant's so good. We'll never have another one like that.
But I think
No,
again, as
we won't.
most things created, I think it'd be better in theaters. But we don't live in that era anymore.
Well, I think that'll do it for this one. We all clearly just didn't like this whatsoever.
No.
Oh, wait.
It
I had
was
a few
not.
more-
It was not electric. The
No,
movie was not.
I
electric.
had a few reference points that I just want
Yeah.
to get off my chest that
Yeah.
stars on them.
By all means, close us out, man.
Let's see, what did I say? The title card, again, propaganda against robots, Disney's fault, I guess. Like they said that Disney made the first robots for Disney World, and then Disney just produced more from there, and that's how the robots were created. So shot at Disney right there. Steve Jobs ass motherfucker. Yep, I said that. But now again, I feel like it's
It
more
goes
like
either
meta.
way. It,
Yeah, I mean,
I-
same.
it's like the
same
door,
shit,
and I think you
different
should
day.
leave. It goes
Like,
The
both
X-
ways. I was here yesterday.
The X, everything's happening on X. Elon reference. I thought that was kind of a shout out to
Oh,
Elon.
I didn't think about that.
yuck.
And the last thing was I did appreciate the clap on, clap off lights in Chris Pratt's cave. I did like that because I want that in my own home.
I forgot
I don't
about
have
the
those
clapper.
light switches,
So like
so.
that.
And he says it too. He goes clap on, and I was like, oh, I like that. That's class right there.
That's
is
the
what
future.
I think. But no, thanks for having me on, boys. This is fun. This is
Yeah.
a good movie to someone like me that's not as into movies to kind of just.
No,
pick
it was a
through.
perfect thing to just talk about because really anyone can say how shit this movie is. So
Yeah, but no one can say how shit it is like we did.
it's true. We have a
That's
special
for
talent
certain.
for that, I think.
Yup.
But you can
Yeah.
always all follow along here on YouTube and on all your favorite podcast streaming apps. And of course on all social media too. Sean made a TikTok as well. I'm too much of a boomer to keep up with it. I don't have TikTok myself, so Sean's gonna be just doing all that because I cannot at all.
Yeah, whenever I feel like it, right? And shout out to our sponsor Chunkies. Definitely go check out a movie if you want to go to something that isn't the Electric State. And more likely than not, the next time you see us, Tommy Boy and I'll be in the theater. But no, Cam, you're always welcome here, and I believe this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I'll be deep in the comments section always. My final point: you are allowed to clip the Stanley Tucci. It should have been racist for traction on social
don't worry,
media.
I'm
I give you my
sending that to you
consent. You just need to throw this part in.
Aye, Captain.
Well, we'll catch you all next time.